I think it was yesterday, I found out that, maybe even, no, it was yesterday, I found out that Easter was the full moon after after the equinox, which to me is kind of a pagan festival, and it's a female pagan festival because it's the full moon, and I think it's also the only movable Christian festival. And I also looked up the death of Jesus, and they do have the date. They have the exact date that's easily verified as the 3rd of April. So I thought, well, you know, they put this on top of, I guessed, or it seemed to me like a pagan fertility festival. Because, you know, and at Easter you've got that. You've got the Easter bunnies, you've got the Easter eggs, and that doesn't really go very well with crucifixion, death, and ascension. I mean, Easter bunnies and Easter eggs are much more around fertility and more a female thing. And then I was meditating on what we're doing today, this morning. And it just kind of came bright and clear into my mind that Jesus had died, or now, this year, Jesus had died. Mary Magdalene was alone, and it may have been at that time that she was finding out that she was pregnant, that she had conceived. My information that I had was wrong. I just had from an old girlfriend that most women have their period on the full moon, or it's equated with the full moon. And I asked someone today and she said no, some do, but actually they're all over the place, or the different lengths of cycles. And when I was thinking, when I was just visioning it, it was like, well, that may have been the where's my period time. And then that led to a whole nother story, which was her escaping to Egypt and also maybe to France, and all the legends of the Holy Grail, which was basically her chalice, her uterus, and the bloodline of Christ. And I think the fundamental change in it, because I could feel that everything we'd been working with was somehow connecting into Easter, and I couldn't really see why. And this just made sense of it, and it made a fundamental change from a patriarchal celebration to a matriarchal celebration, and of fertility for that time of year. And I don't see it in the pagan calendar. But my guess is that either there was a female celebration for the full moon and fertility at this time of year, which may not fall on exactly one of the equinoxes or halfway between, because it's so kind of abundant now. And whenever I meditated at the Uffington White Horse, I could just feel blood ceremonies, that there were blood ceremonies at this time of year. And it felt, oh my God, that's a bit iffy. But it was all around fertility. So rather than Easter and Jesus, today we're going to do more Easter and Mary Magdalene. And I thought it would be quite nice also to have a saint for single mothers, because that is what she became. She was probably like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Why didn't he tell people he wasn't the king of the Jews? I would have a husband. It'd be all right. Why didn't he just kind of say, yeah, I was wrong. I'm not I'm not the son of God or the king of the Jews, and actually my girlfriend's pregnant, so we're going off. But anyway, that's not the way it went, and she became a single mum and went off and basically, from what I see, started a new church in the south of France, and the bloodline of Christ, especially in England. I don't know about other countries, around the Plantagenet kings, a lot of that, it somehow got into the kind of bloodline of monarchy somehow, whether, who knows what happened. But there is a sacred site near me. It's actually Chequers, where the Prime Minister lives. And it makes a perfect chalice. I must do some more free webinars with that. But you can see that on the last page of my website. You scroll down, you see Chequers sacred site. It makes this perfect chalice. And I don't mark it there, but there's also the chalice springs right at the bottom, which got really amazing energy. So today we've been working with the fire energies and the chalice and seed for both men and women for quite some time now. So I think we are working with the legs, but we're going to include the transition from the fire energies and the chalice to working with the legs. And excuse me if I don't know all the things about when women have their periods and all the rest of it, but I feel to stick up for the women anyway today, and the right to have a proper fertility for single mums, and just that whole arena and the matriarchal side of things. So it can somehow come into balance. Jesus can have his celebration on the 3rd of April, more to do with, you know, moving over and transcendence, and then we can have this other celebration for pregnant mothers, single pregnant mothers. And then, yeah, so anyway, I've invented a new day. I'm always inventing things, and that's what we got today. And we're working with the brain circuit and the legs, and also I can just feel it really strongly, you know, talking about it, this Mary Magdalene energy. I guess people have just worked with the Mary energy for centuries and centuries, and I just kind of feel that coming in quite potently. So I guess, well, I know that will be included in the scheme of things, and especially for this time of year. And it may have sounded a bit irreverent, the things that I was saying, but also there's a truth in that. Why not have a day for single mums? Why not have a day for conception and facility? So that is what we're doing. And to be honest, I mean, there's so much disease in the chalice and seed through, I think, kind of improper sex or improper perception of our natural sexual energies, which a lot, to be honest, has come from the church, the suppression of the sexual energies from the church, because it's not there in earth and pagan type religions. It is the dogmatic religions that have made sex a terrible thing. So there's that fundamentally in the air. And I think that feeds into the health of these organs. And I really feel this Mary Magdalene energy relating to that area. So it's good to take because again, Mary Magdalene has got a bit of a religious tone to it. To think of Mary Magdalene in a pagan way as well, and relate it, not just Holy Mary Magdalene, but got a bun in the oven single mother Mary Magdalene, and her relation to the uterus and the sexual energies and sex, making love. She was a prostitute, she knew about that side of things. So that strong sexual energy in a healing way, in a natural way, and how that releases through the legs, in the foot. Again, it's the center of the foot, and it comes through the ankles. The heel is more to do with the deep earth energy, and slightly forwards you've got the ovaries, testes, or the chalice and seed here, and then it's a bit the center line in the foot as well, but it drops down into this area and grounds through that area. And that, I've had trouble with my prostate, and to be honest, I haven't been to a doctor since I was 16, so that's like 50 years ago. I just won't go near them. They just seem to get ill if you go to doctors. So I've never had it checked out what it is, but that really subsided working with the fire energies and finding ways of grounding that. And as that came down through my legs, and especially it felt like it was burning a hole in the bottom of my feet, really gave a place for those energies of the chalice to ground. So I think for both men and women, the area has been blacked a lot by religion, sexual energies tabooed. It gives you a natural experience of those energies, and it gives you a connection, an earth-bound connection, as well as the spiritual holy connection we're going, and through the legs we're getting the earthbound connection. And as the legs open, just the whole energies and the kundalini and the energies going through. It's not like, oh, we're connecting to the earth and it's not going to travel up anymore. It's completely the other way around. You connect through the legs and to the earth, and that potentizes the energies that rise and go to God. So that is the fire circle. We're spending a bit more time with that through the legs. We come out of that, the yellow energies. Oh look, there it is. The Mary Magdalene died. I didn't even place the clitoris somewhere where I could find it. I forgot, but it was there. So it's there for me today. I think because I'm talking about Mary Magdalene, it's saying, yeah, you're right. We won't hide today. I'm not going to mess you around. So we got in the yellow energies in the pelvis. You've got the clitoris in the front of the pelvis there, and the bulbs of the clitoris. And for the men, the erectile tissue, the stem of it, does the same thing and comes into this whole arena. And then you've got the erectile tissue coming forward. No, I agree. This is only really kind of coming to the surface recently, just the shame and the destitution and the position you're put in as a single pregnant mother, and exemplified by the church. Watching that film, I can't remember the name, but it was about a mother who got pregnant in Ireland and was put in a convent to give birth, and they sold her baby for thousands of pounds to Americans, and she went looking for her child. And it's only a very recent thing that mothers have been able to do that. So for thousands of years, I don't know what happens in the non-Christian places or in more pagan rural societies, but it's a stain on humanity, that pain, that suffering, that exclusion, that dogma, that whole reality is really an unspoken about shame of the most natural process that can happen. And, you know, I'm speaking out for the women. The men can get away free of charge in it. No one even knows. It's kept secret. No one knows who they are. They're off. The woman's left with this baby and an outcast. So that's been going on for thousands of years. And I would like, Mary Magdalene is seen as a big holy angel, but actually I'd much rather see her as the patron saint for single mothers. I think that was what she was. She was a prostitute before and then friends with Jesus. So, you know, I was thinking today, because I give new names for anatomy and new pictures out. You know, you have Jesus on Easter on the 3rd of April. I mean, that isn't really anything to do with fertility, which is, and have something about fertility on Easter. Have something for pregnant single mothers and acknowledgement. You know, that really needs to happen. I think that, you know, the church have started apologizing to what they've done to little boys and mothers and little things. I think they really need to apologize to the stigma that has happened to single moms for thousands of years, really. And it's not just the Christian church, it's, you know, within the Middle East, with the different Middle Eastern ones where women are really put down. I think you get stoned if you have a child out of wedlock. It's not like you're just thrown out of society, you're put in a bag and people throw stones at you till you're dead. And thank you for bringing this up, because I think on Easter Day, I think it's apt. There was a full moon yesterday. Jesus died on the 3rd. It's apt to actually bring that into consciousness. And I think that affects you. I know the terrible, terrible things have happened to women, but it's a yin-yang. You can't have that without it affecting the men in different ways. I know it's not in your face in the same way as it is with a woman, but in the relationship things, in the psyche of things, in the way men perceive themselves, it affects the men as well. And I think it's a worthy day to bring that to consciousness, talk about that, and bring through a healing energy. Because it'll be in everyone. It'll be in everyone's psyche, whether it's happened to them or not. It will be felt through the whole earth. So at the very least, we can bring through an energy to heal that in ourselves. And hope, well, I can't see that it can't go off through the ether. So, from being a little thought today, both of you brought up a whole area of it where it can be a very potent and far-reaching thing. So thank you. Thank you.